guys, Dad Dash here, and I wanted to share with you an interesting article today. I thought this was very, very interesting, and thought you would find it very, helpful. So this is an article on gig economy statistics. So I wanted to go through some of the top statistics that it shares. If you're out here considering gig work, these are the things you should be looking at. So, first of all, this article is, like I said, it's very, very, very jam-packed with information that I think is just extremely, extremely important. So, first off, first one, the gig economy is expanding 3 times faster than the total U.S. workforce. Okay? Now, think about that for a minute, guys. 3 times faster. We're feeling it. So if you're trying to do this full time, the thing about gig work is it doesn't care about you, right? So these companies know it's expanding, and you're going to eventually have to probably comply with whatever qualifications they want you to have. But this is also why we also need to get this right and get our messaging right to make sure it's fair, make sure we're treated fairly, make sure we're treated with the same, as independent contractors, and that we get the freedom that we're supposed to have. Next, 50% of the U.S. workforce is likely to participate in the gig economy by 2027. Persons aged 18 to 34 are more likely to work within the gig economy, so that gives you a little insight into who we're working against out there, who's our partners out there, who we're working with. The global economy gig economy generates $204 billion in gross volume. So what's your share of that volume? Ask yourself that. 76% of gig workers express satisfaction or say they're very satisfied with their choice to work in their gig world. And 82% of gig workers say they're happier working on their own. So that's pretty interesting. Now, this little stat here is kind of a very cool little stat. It says the depth of traditional employment. Gig economy industry stats. What does the U.S. gig economy look like? So let's look at it, guys. This is a very, 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 very interesting stuff here. 36% or 57.3 million workers in the U.S. are in the gig economy, guys. So you've heard 3 million. Try an additional 54.3 million we're against out there, okay? 29% of all workers have their alternative job as their primary job. Okay, I want you to think about that number. That means there's 29% are working gig work full-time, pretty much. In 2018, full-time independent workers generated $1.28 trillion of revenue for the U.S. economy. Now, this is why we're going to get regulated. This is why they're coming at us with different tax policy, because they're feeling like, hey, there's some tax revenue out there that's getting missed. So keep your eye on that number. That's an interesting number. The gig economy expands 3 times faster than the whole of the U.S. workforce. Now, here's something interesting, I think. Best states for gig economy jobs, in other words, the most choice: Colorado, Hawaii, Texas, Virginia, and Washington State. Now, I live right next to Virginia, so maybe I need to get over there more because, I have noticed Instacart pays a heck of a lot better, so maybe I need to get up in there. I know Nova Dasher, you're over there in Northern Virginia. Now, the worst, okay, and I'm hearing the worst. So what I'm doing, what I'm earning, when I'm showing you, the tips I'm showing you are going to apply in those 5 states. What I'm doing, if you're watching this channel, if you're applying the things that I'm doing that are making me money, it's not making me a lot of money, but it's making me money, right? You're going to do okay, but it says worst states for gig economy jobs: Arkansas, Idaho, Mississippi, Montana, and West Virginia. Unfortunately, my state is one of them. So that's very interesting. Where are people finding gig employment? Roughly 70% of freelancers find jobs on gig economy sites and online markets. So here it is. Technology is only 5%, 10% health and education, 8% financial activities, 10% business and professional services, 6% leisure, construction 9%, 12% other, manufacturing. So you can see there's a lot of stuff going on out there. Why are people deciding to work in the gig economy? Portfolio of clients is more reliable than one employer, 63%. Earning more money and extra income. So the extra income is a real big driver, 57%. Creating their own schedules only represents 46%. Now, would you think that? Because most of the time when I'm watching these things and you hear people talking, that's a big one. Better life and work balance is only 35%. I want you to see that, guys. If you're coming into this for a better life and work balance, that's the biggest lie in the gig economy that you're going to have is work balance. Because you have more sovereignty over when you work. But if you need to make money, if you need to make the rent, then your time of working you will earn is going to be fixed. Because you can turn on apps, certain apps, or if you become where you like one app over another, then that app might only be popping at certain times of the day, and you're going to only work that time if you're trying to make money. So, profile of a gig employee. So 18 to 34 represents 38%. 25% is 35 to 54, and 11% is 55 and up. Okay? Interesting numbers here. 52% are male, 48% are female, and 41% have a high school diploma. Only 22% of gig workers have a college degree. And that's a number to watch, guys, because I'm not saying a college degree is everything, but what I'm saying is these apps rely on people being not sophisticated enough in their educational background to be able to look at what they're doing, and to be able to calculate the numbers and calculate the data and collect the data to understand what's really going on. So it's important that you understand that you've got to be the number on that. So what do they think about gig employment? 77% of freelance workers work independently in order to become their own boss, while 70% participated in some kind of trading. Okay? 60% stated they have enough flexibility in their work. 47% really like their working hours. Less than 50% like the work hours. See, many people come in and think, I want to get better hours. But you don't get better hours. You're working when other people are eating, having fun. You're out here working. You're out here providing for them. And then when other people are working and other people are not having fun, that's when you as a giver, you're totally opposite of everybody else. And that's something you got to deal with. But, you also have the flexibility that if you make enough money on a couple days a week that you work, or 4 or 5 days a week, or however you want to do it, you also have the ability to decide when you want to work, or if you decide that you need a day off. And then, now this is an interesting number. 51% wouldn't return to traditional jobs for any amount of money. Okay? So that's the freedom that people like, coming in. Once they get involved with it, they understand some of these trade-offs the benefits are better than the trade-offs you're making. 40% of the U.S. workforce make at least 40% of their income via gig work. That's an important number to watch. That's going to be a growing number, and we're going to start feeling it. 26% of millennials think gig economy work is more secure than traditional work. And 30% of part-time gig workers prefer a full-time job. Now, 60% of gig workers say they have much needed flexibility compared to just 27% of traditional employees. So that's an interesting number to me. That 60% of gig workers say they have the much needed flexibility. There it is. If you're an employer out there watching, flexibility is the point. It's not when they're working, it's the flexibility to not have that pressure, to not report to someone, have to tell someone your business. Now, how much do gig workers earn? All right, this is where it gets really interesting. All right. 85% of side gig workers earn less than $500 a month. 85% of the side gigs. So there it is, guys. Think about that. On average, freelancers have 4 or 5 clients a month. The average amount of money earned by workers who use the Steady app, I'm not sure what the Steady app is, I need to check that out, is $624. Gig workers earn 58% of what full-time employees do. Okay, I want you to think about that. That number should resonate with you. And you might say, well, wait a minute. No, I'm making... No, because there's so much more that you're getting from benefits, retirement, health insurance. Those all count as earnings. Gig workers, if you're giving up a full-time job, and this is very true. I'm not going to dispute that at all. I make far less than what I made when I was out in the corporate world. Right? And that's not just because, well, I was making, a nice salary, right? I was in a good position. Probably a position that a lot of people would never leave to go do gig work in. But anywhere that you leave, you're going to make less. Whether you like it or not. Now, that doesn't mean that doesn't work for you. The gig economy is placed in the system and satisfaction. Gig workers pay in benefits. How do gig workers consider this source of income? Primary, secondary, not certain. 53% are secondary, 44% are primary, and 3% are not certain. Only 40% have medical insurance. I have medical insurance through my wife. I mean, that's why, we have it. Dental insurance, 25%. 20% have life insurance, and 5%. Listen, these are the numbers right here, guys, that are a little harrowing for the people out there. That if you're not taking into account your ability to do that, if you don't have a means to go get them, that is something you got to consider. So if you're out here considering getting involved, you need to look at this. What do gig workers think about the industry? 10%. How many gig workers enjoy their work? 10%. Others. 50% very satisfied gig economy workers. 70% satisfied gig workers. And 23% are dissatisfied. Huh. Okay. So only 23% are dissatisfied. That must be a majority of YouTube gig workers. 84% of freelancers are living their preferred lifestyle compared to 54% of traditional employees. Now, there you go, guys. That can tell you that, obviously, the freedoms you have allows people, it's more than money. 81% of on-demand workers prefer to continue their work in the gig economy. Now, the global gig economy, we get into this. This is crazy, guys. The size of the global gig economy is estimated at $3.7 trillion. Okay? And we're not going to go too deep into this. But the best country to be a gig worker in is the United States, 78%. 70%, 97% of people in Mexico and India are open to independent contractor free work. The number of UK gig workers doubled in 2016 and 2019. So these we're going through this here. General gig economy statistics. 36% of workers are part of the gig economy. Let's go into what that means. Over 1/3 of American workers participate in the gig economy through their primary or secondary jobs. Wow. Only 10% of the workforce was part of the gig economy back in 2005, with the number rising to 15.8% over the course of a decade, and then jumping to 36% now. Nearly 1/3 of U.S. workers have a gig job as primary engagement. Wow. 24% are full-time workers, and 49% are part-time workers. And 29% of U.S. workers have an alternative work arrangement as a primary job. 70% of people globally work remotely at least once a week. Over 50% of the U.S. workforce is likely to participate in the gig economy. And this is the thing. It's coming, guys. This is coming as a formalized replacement. And the algorithms that are driving DoorDash, Grubhub, this is the point. They are collecting data which more traditional known workforces are going to begin using. And that algorithm is meant and designed to figure out how to motivate people to work. The number of full-time independent workers by choice has dramatically increased since 2012. Rising from 11.2 million to 12.4 million in 2019. Approximately 3.14 million full-time gig workers are earning over $100,000 a year. Wow. In 2019, fewer than 19% were reluctant independent contractors. In the early 2000s, the reluctant gig workforce accounted for 34%. So that's going down. 55% have started working independently for extra earnings on the side. Britain boasts 4.7 million workers. Wow. 1 in 10 adults are part of the gig economy. 54% of gig workers have no access to employer-based benefits. And we already saw that figure. The gig economy is expanding 3 times faster. Wow. So guys, I'm just flipping through this because this just gets into the stuff that we were just looking through. And unemployment isn't fully accurate. Look at this. Because gig workers usually report they are being employed even though they aren't on a payroll. So that's interesting. Is the gig economy sustainable? While it offers great flexibility, there's also a lack of the safety net typically associated with traditional jobs. Bottom line is that the gig economy is based more on short-term gains rather than long-time sustainability. Is the gig economy the future? The stats say yes. Definitely yes. Each year there are more and more people to decide to work independently, and the majority of them say they're happy doing so. All facts considered, it wouldn't be surprising if the gig economy overtakes traditional jobs. So the conclusion here, the latest gig economy statistics show that being stuck in a 9-to-5 job is no longer the norm. The greater flexibility, control, and in some cases higher earnings have an undeniable appeal. That said, if you've decided to go the freelance route, keep in mind the inherent risks before you venture into the exciting world of working for yourself. So there you got it, guys. It's the future, but it's very risky. Understand the risks. I'm putting a link to this article in this video. Look through it, download it, become familiar. If you're someone who's found this video because you're considering gig work, fully consider all of this. Gig work's not just DoorDash. There's lots of other things. I'm going to check the Steady app out. It's a new app I didn't even know existed. I don't know if it's available in my area, but check it out, guys. Check out Steady app. Get out there. There's a lot to go. If you're in the states where it's good, I'm in West Virginia, and I found a lot of apps don't apply to me. This is not a lot of work. So you're stuck with the lower end food delivery, grocery delivery. That's all that exists. So, but I do live border states with Virginia, so I could travel into Virginia. Maybe I'll do that. I had no idea I was living next to a top 5 state. Interesting stuff, though, guys. This is the stuff you want to consider. This is the information that you need to be looking at. Not anything else, honestly. This is it right here. And you've got to make the decision. You've got to understand the risk you're taking. You've got to understand the reduction you're going to take in pay. And you've got to decide, is the other things that you're getting in life better than the money? Because you're not going to make more. And this is the thing. When we make the devil's bargain, if we as a society decide to go full gig work, if there's a devil's bargain involved, because we will not have the benefits, the protections, and the things that we have grown accustomed to that our forefathers brought to us and negotiated for us and brought in. So it's a very interesting debate. Leave it in the comments. What do you think? As always, guys, stay safe, stay profitable. Dad Dash will be talking to you soon.